Okay, so for this one, we're going to go over if two-way if else statements. So how this works is, let's say we have the following. We have a condition, okay? So let's say we have the following condition, and let's say we have a false value. So let's say this condition is false, for example. Then it would move in this direction. All right. So let's say we have the. All right. So we're gonna go over two-way if statements. So how this works is, let's say we have the following condition, and let's say this following condition is true. Okay. Then we would head down the true path, execute the code that's inside the true path, and then exit our if block, and then continue with our with the rest of the code outside the block. But what if this statement was actually false? Then we would have another block of code solely for the false statement, and then continue our journey out of our if structure, if else. So this is for the if statement. So if it's true, it follows the if statement block, and if it's false, it'll follow the else statement block. So it looks something like this. If a following condition is true, then execute the code inside this block. Okay? However, if this condition is false, then else go to this block instead and execute the code in here. All right? So this is how an if-else statement structure works. So a very easy program we could make is to check if a number is even or odd. So let's say we have a number, and to check if it's even, if we do modulus 2, its remainder should be 0. Okay? And then we would print out that this is even. All right, so this statement is even. However, if this is false, then our only other option we got now is that the statement is odd. So we would, so in our else block, we would put we would print out odd instead. Okay. So if this is true, we're going to print out this block of code. But if this is not true, we're going to print out this block of code instead. And also another thing, you don't need the curly brackets here. Writing the code like this is all perfectly valid as well. Just make sure these lines, like the indenting, make sure these are all on the same indent. Okay, so the else should be a little bit more here. Okay, so that's how you could write it. Now let's do a quick example. So the following asks, what is the output of the code in A and B if number is 30? What if the number is 35? So let's say this number is 30. 30 modulus 2 is equal to 0. So that's true. So this line is going to print out, and it's going to tell us that 30 is even. But this line is also going to print out as well, and it's going to also tell us 30 is even, because this block is not within the if statement, and it's not like there's nothing prevent. Sorry, I mean to say there's nothing preventing this code from executing. Okay, and if you have 35 instead, this is gonna be odd. So this code won't even execute, but this one will. So this is gonna print out 35 as odd. But this one is also gonna print out 30 as odd when we had our 30 here. Because again, like I said, nothing is preventing this code from executing. Now what if we have 30 here? Well, this block of code is going to execute because this statement is true, but this block is not going to execute because since this statement is true, it's going to stop over here. and it's going to print out 30 is even. But if you have 35, this statement is false, so it's going to skip this block of code and go here and print out 35 is odd.